Hey everybody, it's Muscle Car Campia, and we're in Indianapolis at the Bill Skillman Car Collection. Bill is one of the owners of the Ray Skillman Auto Group. Amazing amount of dealerships here in Indy. They do a great job. If you need a new car, go see the Ray Skillman Auto Group. There's my plug for the day. What I'm excited about today, I've got two 61 Chevrolet 409 cars behind me. We've got this beautiful flat top over here. 409 360 horse 4-speed car, of course, we love that. What's really unusual is the gray car in the background. It might be a little controversy about it, but it is believed to be one of the last 10 409s built that year, and it actually has the 1962 dual quad induction system on it. We're going to take a look at both of these cars right now. All right, right now we're going to bring in Don Gardner, just one of the guys, he says, former pro stock racer, degenerate drag racer like all of us, but Don has a real love for these cars and he helps take care of them, helps do work on them. Don, why don't you come in here, tell us a little about, now you saying how original this car is underneath, and I could see it looks like the block's never been painted. Tell us about this car.
Ray bought this car years ago. It's a 14,000 mile car, 14,500, something like that. It's always lived like this. Ray's had it for years. We sat there and we did repaint this car because the paint was getting a little cloudy on the top and a little weathered, and so. But the finish underneath this is like it was. These are the original heater hoses, original clamps, original radiator hose, original battery cables. That's all the factory finish. It still has factory dirt underneath here that we didn't restore this car, and we just tried to save it. It's got the original tires on it, original interior. All the bright work is all the original. And we just tried to save it, tried to keep it as original as possible. We're kind of purist here, we like the original, unmolested kind of stuff.
Sure,
and,
I noticed you did put the quick disconnect on here because
that's
you store
just a
them.
Safety thing.
But, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm just blown away by, everything. It looks like, it's like my time warp back to 1961, the year I was born. 360 horse 409, that was the top dog that year. They didn't make but a handful of 409 cars that year.
Right.
They were split up between Impalas and all the full-size Chevys. But this car is just a living, breathing piece of history. Now, this car was a drag car originally. So it really doesn't have a lot of street miles at all.
Right.
But it is a 4-speed car. We're going to go into the interior and really check that out in a second.
We don't know how much this car was raced. Couldn't have been raced much because it was. It's so original. Those are the original seats, the original flooring, the original door seals, and we tried not to monkey with anything. We just tried to keep it like this. And like I said, that's still the original tires on it, and it's just a classic piece for us.
Can I sit in it?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
This is it.
Car runs and drives like a brand new one.
Heaven for Jim Camposano is getting into a 61 409 Chevy. Oh man. You look in this car, and probably one of the reasons it doesn't have a lot of miles, there's no radio, there is a heater, but it is just, 120 mile an hour speedometer. You got the column mounted tachometer. It's just so plain in here. This is a real bare bones car. Even the shift knob is kind of dainty. It's a little tiny thing. But everything about it, the 2-spoke steering wheel, this was original muscle. This is just wow. Just wow. I'm speechless, and I don't get left speechless very often. This is just really a cool car. Love the bench seat. Comfortable. Enough room for 3 people in the front, 3 in the back. A true 6-passenger car. It is just glorious. One of the cool things on the Biscayne, this is, we call it what I think everybody call it the flat top roof. You know, they used those on Cadillacs. They used them in, you know, Chevys later on. John Lennon wrote about it in Come Together. Here come old flat top. Well, that was a reference to these roofs. That was a Chuck Berry term that he used in some of his songs. And of course, John Lennon later got sued. One tail light, one reverse light on either side. You have the bullet tail lights. To this story than just this Biscayne. There's this 1961 Impala SS. Total sport coupe option. People now call it a bubble top, but this is just an absolutely glorious, glorious machine. Gray with the red side, red interior with the silver to match. The real surprise, under the hood. Dual quads, circa 1962. Now, there is a trim tag over there. Don, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it says on there?
Well, we sat there and this little car here is, well, we think is a pretty rare piece. There's a lot of controversy about some of these cars. Some people say they never made these cars. The way I understand it was the last 10 of these cars they made these as like a factory built race car, and they put the 409 horse motor in them. They didn't do that in 61. That started in 62. But this car, the trim tag, we've sat there and we've watched this. This appears to be the original trim tag. It's and the WZ was the 409 engine package, the RPO code for the 409, and then it has an X in the middle of the WZ, so it says WXZ, and the X was experimental. And they sat there and we've got a lot of documentation with the car, and we're still working on it. We figure if nothing else, it's just a great piece, and so we're taking it. It's going to end up what it's going to end up. You know that it's hard to track history, especially when all the documentation's gone and all that. But we still keep working at it and get it. Really nice piece.
Well, it's a piece, all right. I mean, I want to marry this thing. I mean, it is just absolutely stunningly beautiful. It's got to be a ball to drive. I mean, wow. What I'm going to do now is get into the interior of this car and point out the differences between a top-of-the-line Impala and a low-level Biscayne. You know, this car has full wheel covers with the spinners on them. The other car has the poverty caps, if you will. I will gently get in to make sure I don't leave any door dings. I don't want to leave any souvenirs here. Now, you heard that door close. It's pretty stellar. Nice enough. They have the seat adjusted properly for me. But check out the steering wheel. Great looking steering wheel with the Impala emblem in the center. You got a fuel gauge. You've got a clock in this car. Temp gauge. 120 mile an hour speedometer. This car does have the radio. It's got the glove box right here. It's pretty cool. You've got the grab handle for the Impala SS over there. That was an Impala feature only. You got the 4-speed over here. And again, these shifter shapes, it's like, you know, let's get them around the bench seat. Very unusual. But two-tone steering wheel. I mean, I am in heaven in here. You got the gray headliner, a gray and red interior. The Impala shift box around there. I can't call it a console, but this car is just tremendous. I want it. I want them both. How much for both, Don?
Don't know. We'd have to talk to Ray on that one.
Now, for guys like me who don't spell really well, check it out. CHEVY on the radio buttons. So you want to punch in a station, CHEVY, and you'll learn how to spell. One of the other features in here is the 1961 NHRA technical specifications, and if you look down here, 2x4 Carter AFB was actually listed on the The 409 for 1961. This is dated March 1961. Very unusual. Yeah, I like this. Got the SS emblem on the trunk. Modern Chevrolet in Lubbock, Texas, home of Buddy Holly. 3 taillights on either side. Humongous trunk. You got the trim around the window up there. I mean, even inside on the door panels, it's kind of trick. You get some special stuff. It's a car that they left nothing untouched. Even you got the dual antennas for the CHEVY AM radio.
People always question if these are real cars or not, and we've had the dash out of this car because where the grab bar is on the actual SS cars, that those holes were stamped and not drilled, and we've had that out verifying
that it's
all
a true
this.
SS.
The trunk's just full of correct pictures and through the restoration process, and you can see before it was disassembled, it was in this state. So
wow.
Yeah.
But what's really cool, and I like this, this is the kind of stuff I love on 60s cars. You know, you got the red, you've got the gray, you've got buttons on the side, and even this, everything was styled. The whole car was styled from inside and outside. That started with Harley J. Earl. Bill Mitchell, his successor as the VP of styling at General Motors, they left nothing. Even this little band that goes across the door has got ribs in it. I mean, it's just beautiful styling cues. Nothing, like I said, nothing was left untouched. All right, everybody, Muscle Car can't be saying sayonara. We're out of here. Come back later. We'll have more videos coming. Take it easy.